This is what she looks like now. Enrique, this isn't going in circles.
The man on your screen bawling his eyes out is Enrique Macotella, a 54-year-old man who just saw the love of his life dead. But is Enrique really a grieving lover, or is he throwing a tantrum because he realized his life is over?
Are you 100% of what you're saying?
We made a match. It's her. We're absolutely certain.
We verified via our fingerprints. It's her. Okay? We know with certainty that you haven't been completely honest with us. And we know with certainty that you know what happened to her.
So how did Enrique go from a man smitten in love to a calculated, cold-blooded murderer?
It's either you're an evil, calculated, cold-blooded, murderous person who wanted to see his wife dead, and you plan to do this for, I don't know, a week, a month, a year?
On August 18th, 2015, Enrique walked into the Coral Springs police station and declared his partner, 38-year-old Magdalena Weich, missing. Enrique told the cops that although they never got married, he considers her his wife. The two met at a nightclub about 7 years ago and have been together ever since. Enrique is a self-employed locksmith while Magdalena works as a medical bill coder in MCCI Medical in Tamarack. This family of three lived a very simple life. But all of that changed on this day when Enrique filed a missing persons report and told the police Magdalena went to Barnes & Noble's but never returned home.
When's the last time that you saw her?
Yesterday, 7 o'clock.
So 7 p.m. or
Yeah.
a.m.?
p.m.
Okay. So you last saw her
At home?
last night at 7 p.m. at home?
Yes, I can.
Okay. What was her mood like?
Well, yesterday she didn't go to work because she had a headache, so she was all day home.
Okay. Come in. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that. Thank you much.
You're welcome. So yesterday she had a headache. What did you see her when she woke up yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
What time did she wake up?
we woke up 6:15 in the morning.
Okay, so you woke up at 6:15.
6:30.
Okay.
We have to get ready my kid, give him a bath,
Okay.
make him breakfast, and usually she takes him. Her work is next to the daycare, so usually she takes him.
Where in Tamarack is this MCCI?
It turns into Coral Ridge, but it changes.
Knott Hill Road?
Knott Hill Road.
We're on Knott Hill Road.
I don't know, I was there this morning, but I don't know the...
South Bay Commercial Boulevard, close to... Oh, we'll find out.
Next to one new Walmart they opened.
Okay.
Next to...
The Walmart.
New Walmart.
That's actually Pine Island Road.
But
Okay.
like the daycare and her job, they're like...
Right next to each other?
Okay.
And did she take care of feeding Matthew and bathing him and all that stuff, or did you?
With both of us.
Okay. And did she complain about a headache at 6:30?
Yeah, so she woke up like with a headache.
Okay.
Even from previous night, she was having a little headache. She woke up and she's like, "Come, I cannot go to work."
Okay.
So we called her manager.
You said we called. Who called?
I called.
You called the manager?
I called the manager.
Okay. Do you typically call for her if she?
Really, she missed a job. She's very, very, very strong.
Has she ever called in sick before?
Maybe once, I don't think.
Okay.
Once, twice, maybe. That was all late, but...
Okay. Do you know her manager?
Yeah, I spoke with her this morning.
Okay. But have you ever had contact with her manager before?
Yeah, we went to a party together, like we invited kids
Okay.
together.
Okay. And did she just not feel like calling, or? Like why did you call instead of her?
Well, it was like, she started at 8 o'clock, so we called just 8:10,
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
She starts 8 o'clock work.
Right.
So we called around 8:10.
Okay.
So the manager said
Now, did your wife ask you to call for her?
Yeah, she said, can you call her?
What's the boss's name?
Tricia.
Enrique starts this interrogation peddling a simple narrative. I'm just a loving husband and doting father. But every word Enrique has uttered so far are just figments of his imagination.
So then when I was in the tennis court, she texted me that she was going to go to the library, what she called library, Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
Which friend is she going to walk with the friend there or meet the friend there?
She's going to meet the friend there. Well, I'm going to go with the friend.
She's going to go with a friend?
Yeah.
Who's the friend?
I don't know. She told me who is like. She told me from work.
A friend from work?
Is one friend that from her name
Is it a man or a woman?
a woman that they study all the time. But I called her today this morning and she wasn't with her.
Okay, wait. You talked to the friend this morning?
Yeah, from the.
Well, how did you get in touch with this woman?
Because today I went to her job,
Mm-hmm.
my wife's job. She mentioned that they're pretty friendly and everything else. So she talked to her directly from the office, and she said that she never saw Madalena.
Okay, did this woman, you didn't get her name?
Who?
The woman that went, is this woman that you spoke to this morning, is she the one that was supposed to meet your wife at Barnes & Noble's?
No, I didn't speak to the woman, but no, she didn't give me an exit. I'm gonna go to Barnes & Noble's, and I asked her who, and she's Polish and she's sometimes very stubborn, I said, so who? You don't know.
Okay, but at work, when you went to her work today,
Right.
that's okay. You spoke to somebody and they said they didn't see your wife last night.
Right, so
But was that the person that was supposed to meet her?
I don't know. Because she never told me who she wants to meet.
I understand, but I guess I'm confused because if it wasn't the
Enrique came to the station on this day to report that his wife was missing, and it led to this first interview. So he tells his story in a monotonous, emotionless manner that makes it difficult to hear his lies and follow his tale. He's like a badly rehearsed actor who keeps mixing up his lines. It's incredible how this made-up woman went from being his wife's friend to a phantom that never existed at all. And all of that happened all in a few seconds. Not even Shakespeare could have scripted that. For the cops, they are not poking holes in his story just yet, because at this moment, Enrique's not a suspect.
Well, I'm just going through the text between you and Magda. You don't text her that often because before yesterday, there's nothing since last week.
Not really.
This goes all the way back to May.
Yeah, she don't really text much or phone. And she don't really like her phone. Sometimes I'm calling and.
I wish my girlfriend would have been more like that. She wouldn't stop texting.
Sometimes I call her and she's like, why you call me?
Where's her phone now?
She left it home. She left it home.
Is that a common thing for her to leave it at home?
Yeah, like.
Why?
She don't like me to. Sometimes I'm, where are you? So I don't know if she forgot it or she left it home. Because the way I found out I was calling, like after I came from the tennis game, I was calling, left messages. Then I put attention and I started to hear it was in the buzz.
When dealing with a murder investigation, patterns are very important. Any little detail that is out of character is a huge red flag. So when Enrique's only text to his wife in months comes on the day she goes missing and clearly looks like fabricated evidence, that definitely caught the detective's attention. Enrique doesn't realize that this is one of those moments that the investigators catch a whiff of his BS.
What happened here on your knuckle?
I fought on the tennis court. Like all this the other day I was playing with a guy.
All that from the tennis court?
Yeah, I fought here, and my legs, I don't know the stuff.
Yeah, I've played a lot of tennis in my day. That's pretty easy. Just like that. Oh, okay, yeah.
I fall, like.
The detectives may seem like pushovers, but make no mistakes. This is actually an intentional strategy from the detectives. The cops already know those injuries are not from tennis. Instead, they'd later be proof of something more shocking and sinister. But Enrique isn't done feeding us his lies just yet. This next act of the Enrique Macotella show, it gets even crazier. He finds a way to include cartel kidnappers in his story, just to throw the detectives off his scent.
Officer Neves, when he was taking your initial information, you said something about kidnapping. What's all that about?
My sisters keep calling me about it. In Mexico, they kidnapped an uncle of mine already.
When?
Not long ago, like maybe 5 years ago.
Okay. In Mexico or in U.S.?
In Mexico.
Okay.
They kidnapped him. He was covered his eyes, but he was able to see who was. He knew them. And they asked for the ransom, so they give 50,000 back then. Let him go. But since he saw who was, he went to the police and they got them. But in Mexico, there's no rules.
Yeah.
The police they asked him, "You want to keep the guys in jail?
Right.
Give us the random," or something like that.
Right.
So, but I mean, at least he was out. And Mexico, the situation is bad, you know.
Yeah.
Now my sister is telling me that maybe if she's kidnapped, they could force her to get Matthew, you know. So that's why they keep telling me, pick up Matthew, because maybe they forcing her to do something and they're gonna get Matthew. So
Well,
that's a worry.
how would these kidnappers from before know about you and your wife?
No, that has no connection.
It's totally unrelated.
Enrique's play here is simple. He's going to give the cops so many leads and different supposed angles to think about that they never even have a moment to consider him as a suspect.
You're starting to get the sense that she might be seeing somebody else? How long have you felt like that?
It's a couple of things that I don't know.
What else?
Once, long ago, I got sexual transmitted disease. I've been loyal to her always. I haven't been with another woman since we started. And I got syphilis.
Okay.
So I went to those clinics and they said, you know, I was like, did this whole thing for my previous relation.
Yeah.
But,
How long ago was that?
actually, that was maybe 3 years ago.
3 years? 3 years ago? What did your wife say about that?
And I confronted her, like, are you seeing somebody? No.
So she denied it?
She denied it.
Okay, so to this day, she still denies it?
I asked her a couple times, and she's like, you ask me one more time, I mean, that's it, you believe me.
Okay. What else besides that makes you think that? I mean, because a lot of times our gut feeling is correct. You know what I mean? If you're starting to feel like something's going on, a lot of times you're right, and there's things that you're seeing or hearing that are making you feel that way.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out what that is.
Like, even as a matter of fact, because she used to have the iPhone,
Okay.
for this phone, but the iPhone broke. It broke and the screen. I put a GPS on her.
Okay.
No, she didn't even.
I understand. You
No, because
felt there was something going on, so you wanted to see where she was
so
going. That's
I
fine.
was checking where she was going. Maybe once in a while in her lunch she was going to a location that was some apartments, but I never went physically there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in Miami or whatever.
Yeah. Did you ever confront her about it? Did you ever ask?
No, because I never told her that.
Right, you didn't want to tell her that you had the GPS. But
Yeah.
Did you ask her, like, what'd you do today, where were you?
Yeah.
And she, like, left that out?
I will ask, what did you do for lunch?
Yeah.
And she would just go,
So she get angry a lot?
for little things, yeah.
Okay.
Enrique walks out of the station that day convinced he's outsmarted the detectives. What he doesn't realize is that the investigators are playing chess while he's over here playing make-believe. All Enrique's done is just deliver a masterclass in how not to get away with murder, because where Enrique dumped his darkest secret, there were cameras. And where there are cameras, Uncle Sam is watching. So, brace yourselves because the second visit to the station, this story gets brutal and darker. Every lie is ripped apart, and you get to see Enrique Macotella for who he really is.
Did you ever put hands on her?
No.
Do you have, let me ask you this, Enrique. Do you have anything to do with your wife's missing right now? Disappearance?
No, sir.
Nothing at all?
No, I believe she...
Are you a man who believes in God? You go to church?
I don't go to church, but I believe there is a God.
Pardon?
I don't go to church, but I believe there is a God.
Okay. So you had nothing to do with your wife's disappearance?
No.
You know what I'm supposed to do, Enrique? Whenever we're working a case like this, we never read this to you, and it's kind of an oversight on our part. And it's you see it on TV, and people sometimes get nervous. They're like, oh, they read me my rights. That means I'm under arrest. That's not the case. We usually read rights to people that we're talking with on cases like this, But nobody ever read you your rights, did they?
No.
When we were interviewing you the other day or anything like that? Okay, so I need to do that, okay, and then we'll just carry on with our conversation, but just so I can check it off my list, say we did that. This is just standard Miranda warnings, they call them. You've probably heard versions of this on TV, but this is what they, really consist of. You understand all that?
Yeah.
Okay. That's just kind of formality you need to get out of the way.
When the cops read you your Miranda rights, you know things just got very, very serious. Enrique doesn't know that he's no longer a man filing a missing persons report. He is now a murder suspect. The investigators decide to play good cop/bad cop. Our bad cop hasn't entered the room yet, but Detective Brian here is our good cop. He starts the interrogation by making Enrique comfortable and telling him about his own family.
Where were you guys from? Mexico City?
Mexico.
Mexico
City.
Mexico City. What's it like down there, man? You always, you hear the bad parts about Mexico on the news, but you never really hear about what's it like.
I mean, it's more extreme what you hear because you only hear the bad part. But I've been with Magdalena there 2-3 times. Obviously, you know where to go. You don't go to the bad neighborhoods. If you go to a bad neighborhood,
I suppose.
You don't wear the silver, gold, whatever, because that's a sign.
And my wife's Brazilian, and we go down there. It's the same thing. Everybody talks all this trash about Brazil, like it's such a violent place, but it's the same thing. Every time I've been there,
everywhere is like
Nobody comes to Miami to visit Overtown.
Yeah.
They go to South Beach, and whatever. Same thing.
And right now, the bad thing in Mexico is that this last president is like the most corrupt of all of them. He's selling Mexico's pieces, and in last couple of things, in order to, they've been killing a lot of how do you call these people? The news people. How do you call
Like reporters.
Reporters, because they have evidence recorded. They're cleaning everybody.
Reporters are getting whacked.
Yeah, it's just
Wow.
it's bad, and so now the whole town is raising up, and hopefully, it's going to be hard. Well, that's something.
Who came to mind? Does anybody, now that it's been a couple of days, does anybody kind of jump out as acting strangely? Has anybody contacted you and acted peculiar in any way? Or I know you said you thought you had a guy following you today, that Gray Explorer. I mean, I don't want to say that he wasn't, but oftentimes, when people are in these traumatic situations, sometimes they, get to thinking that they're seeing stuff, because I don't blame you for feeling, overly paranoid, but I mean, do you really think somebody was following you legitimately?
Well, that's 100%, even 100%, because let's say from Hialeah to South Beach, it's what I took this 75, and it's about half an hour driving. First, and I think it was 2 cars. One pickup with tinted windows, kind of like backtailing, all the time. So in one intersection, I think it's Hialeah Road. Where's the main road in Hialeah?
Dude, I'm not that familiar with Dade County, really. I'm down there once every 6 months as soon as I get that.
Let's say, both roads, they go to I think it's going south. So he followed me all over. Here in the corner, I put my blinker to the left. He puts his blinker to the left. I put my blinker to the right. I'm fast.
Enrique is still playing the same old game, trying to give the detectives more suspects. But today is not going to be like the last time. This time, the detectives aren't searching for a missing woman. They're interrogating the prime suspect of cold-blooded murder.
Anytime we have a missing person, we have to, first thing we got to do is eliminate those closest to that missing person from suspicion.
Understand.
Right. And obviously in this case, it's you. We have to eliminate you. We have to be able to show definitively,
Yeah.
hey, you know, Enrique didn't do anything to Magda, right? And then when we eliminate you, we can work outward from there. That's usually how these things go.
Yeah.
We start with those closest to the missing person, and then if that doesn't do anything, we work our circle out.
Yeah.
And then we work our circle farther out, you know, and then, you know, because truth be told, most of the time when something like this happens and somebody disappears off the face of the earth, it's not typically a random stranger that does something to them, you know.
I saw it too, like the neighbor next door, that was something that I asked the other detectives. I don't know if it's possible, like, to go inside people's house.
What do you mean?
Like, what about those kids that I'm
Oh,
talking
those
about?
kids over there? Like if we could go in their house?
Hmm?
Like if we could go in their house?
Are we going and see?
I mean, we potentially can. Yeah, and that's definitely somebody I want to look at. But like I said, getting back to this and that night, and why I wanted to really clarify your timeline, is because it's not just what you're telling us. You know what I mean? We have a lot of legwork to do in verifying everything you're telling us, right? And that starts with, you know, hey, Dan.
It's at this moment, when our bad cop detective Dan walks in, that the interrogation gets more heated.
We do multiple things, right? We look at your phone, you know, and we look at video cameras. I mean, nowadays, this entire city, when you drive around Coral Springs, you see it. I mean, the entire city is covered, really, in video cameras, right? So, you know, whether it be businesses, we've got them on street lights, we've got them at red light cameras, we've got them, you know, in Coral Springs, you know, our city has a lot more money than, and you know, you live here, than a lot of other cities. So, you know, Fort Lauderdale, maybe not so much that they have a camera everywhere. But here, people got money, the government, the city has money, so we do. We've got great technology here, and it really helps in our job. Because oftentimes we're able to show, when somebody says, I went here, I did this, I did this, I did this, we're able to go back and pull video and say, yep, you know, Enrique told us he went here, and he went here, and he went there. And we look at the video, and it verifies what you told us, right?
Of course.
And so that's why I want you to be specific in, you know, I really want you to concentrate on where you went specifically, because that helps us to go, you know, because honestly, when these things, you know, excuse, no problem. You know, if she turns up tomorrow, awesome. You know, I'll be happy. You'll be much happier. Matthew's going to be ecstatic. Great. But if she doesn't, then we have to be able to show that we looked here, we looked here, we looked here. And the first question everybody always asks, our bosses included, and everybody from, you know, the public to media, did you look at the husband? You know, so what we got to do with you first is, you know, really lock it down where you were when you said you were there. You know, so we can document and show definitively that you had nothing to do with Magda's disappearance.
Of course,
right?
Understand.
So with that in mind, let's go back to that Tuesday night when you left to go look for her. Did you drive up towards Sample Road at all? So we've got cameras all along that whole area. Sample, Atlantic University, Royal Palm. I mean, there's cameras everywhere in that area. You know what I mean? And they're all getting checked. You know, so we've got to verify you were where you say you were.
Yeah.
So were you up on Sample Road at all?
Samples, like, what is it? It's Papa John's.
Yeah, Papa John's on Sample.
Yeah, I passed Papa John's Samples.
You passed. So you were on Sample Road then?
Probably, I'm not 100%.
Okay. How far east or west did you go on Sample Road? Did you go?
It's east.
Did you go towards 95, towards the ocean, or towards, you know, the Everglades?
I don't know. I don't know, like, what it's like, I can't tell you.
You understand that Because, like I said, people are going to be looking to us, including our bosses, up to and including the chief.
Correct.
Everybody is very aware of this case now in this building,
Mhm.
okay? And if we, we can't account for where you are. I can tell them all day long, look, Enrique's a very nice guy. I'd hang out with you, good father, he's never been in trouble, by all accounts, good husband, not husband, boyfriend, But we have to eliminate you definitively with evidence, right?
Yeah.
And if I can't do that, then, like I said, we start our investigation with those closest to her.
Mhm.
Like I said, and he said to you the other day, that starts with you, okay? And we have to eliminate you first,
Right.
okay? And if we can't do that, then we have to spend more time on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
So it's crucial that you try to remember that.
It's a huge shame that Enrique just doesn't know where these roads are. All of a sudden, he's been overcome by this sudden wave of amnesia. And now, the same roads he uses daily and has been using for years, he can't remember them, especially Sample Road. What Enrique doesn't know is that cameras have shown he's very familiar with Sample Road, and the only person he's deceiving is himself. So while Detective Brian is still trying to get Enrique to confess his crimes, with Detective Dan, the gloves are off. He confronts him with the facts. Enrique can no longer hide from the truth.
Earlier tonight, we received a call, okay?
Okay.
Sample Road. You know where Turtle Run is?
No.
You know where the Wendy's is?
No.
The high school, Coral Springs High School? Okay, there's a wooded field in there, okay, that you've been to before, because there's photographs of you, Magda, Matthew together. Okay, in a wooded field over there, the park, the big tall cypress park? You know what I'm talking about. You got about 4 or 5 pictures in your phone from that place.
All right.
Okay, now you're with me?
All right.
Okay. Right there, right off Sample Road, a woman was found deceased, dead. Okay? She was wearing gray pants. Okay? And we just, tonight, verified it's Magda.
You're kidding me.
She's dead.
Don't tell me that, please.
I wouldn't say something that wasn't the truth. Okay? I'm telling you now. You need to take that in for a minute, okay?
And Enrique, it's really important now, okay?
Are you 100% of what you're saying?
We made a match. It's her. We're absolutely certain.
We verified via our fingerprints, it's her, okay? Now, here's the thing, Enrique.
Don't tell me that, man.
If they were giving Oscars for terrible acting performances, Enrique here is definitely taking the trophy home, or in this case, taking the award to his prison cell. So don't be fooled by his fake squeal or the crocodile tears. Magdalena's dead body was found in the woods along Sample Road 2 days after Enrique's first visit, where he came to report her missing. Enrique actually dumped her body in a spot where he, Magdalena, and their 4-year-old son Matthew had taken multiple pictures before.
Okay, we know with certainty that you haven't been completely honest with us. And we know with certainty that you know what happened to her. Okay? And I know that you're a good guy, Enrique. I know you're a good father. You've never been in any trouble in your whole life, okay? And that you're not a violent person by any means, by all accounts. Everybody we've talked to, Enrique's, not a violent guy. We know that Magda often was very hot-headed. Everybody we talked to said the same thing about her. Okay? We know even from neighbors that you guys often got into heated arguments. Okay?
Can you verify that for me?
It's 100%. Okay? There's absolutely no doubt. Okay? And there's also no doubt whatsoever. Okay? And the investigation will prove without a doubt that you're responsible in some shape or form for her death. But it's important, Enrique, that you come clean now and describe to us what led up to it. Because there's a couple different things that could have happened, okay? Listen, I'm married to a woman who's, like I said, Brazilian. Can get absolutely insane sometimes, okay? And we've had, if you talk to my neighbors, they'd say the same thing that your neighbors told us. That, yeah, you know what, I've heard really heated stuff over there before. You know, I get it. You know, and sometimes these women, they just lose their, you know, minds, it seems like, and go after you, and go after you, and go after you, and go after you. And as a man, you just always put back. You're stuck in this position where you take it, you take it, you take it, you take it. And sometimes what happens with guys in that position is, you know, they just take it so much that just like something snaps and they just, you know, fight back for an instant. And then sometimes what happens is people get hurt. You know, the guy don't necessarily mean to hurt his wife, especially a good guy like yourself. Heart, you got a good mind, you're a nice person, you're a great father, okay? But even good people, sometimes, in the heat of the moment, and when you're very emotional, and you know, she's pushing all your buttons, and, you know, I've had it before, I'll be honest with you, I've had it where my wife just literally physically attacked me. And I think Magda's probably done the same to you. Some of these women are just completely hot-headed women, and Enrique, I want you to, there's really just a couple possibilities, man. It's either something like that, and you explain to us what happens. I don't think you woke up Monday morning wanting to kill your wife. I don't think you're some cold-blooded guy who had this, devious plan to kill her. Okay? I can tell by that. You love her. I can tell by that. You didn't mean for this to happen. I know with certainty, I can see it in your face, Enrique, you didn't mean for this to happen to her. I honestly believe, knowing you, talking to you for the last couple of days, and hearing about you from other people, that this was probably a spur-of-the-moment thing that went awry. You know, talking to people about her, she probably came at you, and something happened. You know, we've had other cases where, you know, similar situation where next thing you know, the woman's coming at the guy, you know, maybe just pushes her off, and next, you know, we had a case where he pushed her off, she hit her head on the ground, or on the bedpost in that case, and that was it. You know, she died. And I think something like that is most likely what happened with you. But the thing is, Enrique, only you and her know what happened that night. Okay? You're the only one who can tell us. If you let the evidence talk, okay, I understand. I think you freaked out after something happened and you didn't know what to do. I honestly think you freaked out, you didn't know what to do, and
you panicked.
You panicked.
Panicked. You might not have intended to kill her, but something happened in that listen to me. Something happened into that townhouse. The things that you say did not add up, Enrique. Okay. We brought in a Broward Sheriff's deputy female that speaks fluent Polish. We called Wanda, her mother, today. Okay, you know her brother Milo, right? Milo and I spoke today. Okay, we've talked to her friend Christine. Okay, that she studies with. Christine talked to us in great detail with Detective Brian. I talked to her boss Tricia that you went and spoke to before you came to the police station. I talked to her at great length yesterday. I went to her home and spoke to her, okay? We've also, we've talked to your son Matthew, okay? Matthew told us Mommy wasn't home when he came home. He was upset about it, okay? There's a lot of things that we know now. We just think you panicked. Something happened inside that townhouse that you're not telling us about, and you panicked, okay? So we need to know what happened. We need to hear your side of what happened between you and Magda, okay? Because we've talked to some of the neighbors around there where you live, and you know we did that, and they've heard yelling coming out of that townhouse before, right? You know that. You know we've done that, okay?
All of the evidence, Enrique, all of the evidence is going to point at you, okay? All of the evidence is going to show that you caused her death. The only question, Enrique, is going to be how this went down.
From here on, the detectives start to pick apart all the lies that Enrique had told in that first meeting when he came to report his wife missing.
No, we're not making up stories.
We don't need to do that. We're just looking to get the truth from you, okay? Matthew told us what Matthew told us. She was never home when you guys got home. You, for the first time ever, decided to take photographs of all of you at the tennis courts. You got on Magda's phone, on her LG phone, and you texted that to yourself that she was going to the library to study, okay? She never had any intention to do that. You know that. Her books were right on the table, right? Right on the table. Her books were right on that table, okay? Her mom, her boss, Christine, they all said she would never walk. You know that's a mile walk. Somebody with a headache is going to walk a mile? Give us a break with that shit, all right? Because that's not true, and you know it's not true. You made that up. She never left that house to go to Barnes & Noble, and you know that. You put that text on, you texted yourself from her phone. We know that. So come on with that stuff, all right? She loved Matthew more than everything. She would never leave him. She would never do that. She would have Matthew by her side at all times, okay? Very rarely did you do anything privately with Matthew. She always had him, always. Always picked him up at the daycare. We know that.
Because she works next to him.
Okay. So what's with the cover-up? Why did you text yourself from her phone?
Enrique's lies are beginning to crumble right in front of him. He's tried to paint Magdalena a cheating wife, a bad mother, and an aggressive woman that abuses her partner, but he's failed at every single one of them. Instead, with every fact that Detective Dan hits him with, you can see those prison walls closing in on Enrique. He also had no idea that the cops had been following him, and this led to the detectives witnessing a shocking sight that will surely lead to Enrique switching his clothes for that famous orange jumpsuit.
I'm going to be honest with you now, okay? I was talking to you earlier. I'm going to be honest, okay? We followed you all day. We saw you vacuum out the back of your van. Guess what? Guess what? That vacuum cleaner does not remove DNA from a floor of a van. Okay? That does not remove DNA. Her DNA is going to be on the floor of your van. Your DNA is going to be under her fingernail. Okay? You're the one who called her in sick to work. It's going to look much worse for you if the evidence speaks for itself. Because the evidence will only tell what it can tell. And that's going to tell that you caused her death. Okay? If this is a thing where it's a spur-of-the-moment thing that just happened when, she went off on you, and you reacted in the heat of passion, and next thing you know, oh my God, she's not breathing. I can completely, knowing you now, I can completely understand that. And I think, Enrique, that's what happened. I don't believe that you planned on killing her. I don't believe you meant to hurt her. I can see it in your face. You love her.
I will never do nothing to her.
You did. I mean, there's the evidence is speaking that something happened, and you know what happened.
Enrique's very, very brilliant mind had convinced him that he could outsmart decades of forensic science by just simply vacuuming his van. Because apparently DNA doesn't seep into fibers, clings to surfaces, and linger long after you've used the almighty Hoover to clean it up. Enrique had also told us in the first interview that his wife was ill. Magdalena was so sick that she couldn't even use the phone. That's why he's the one that had to call her boss and tell her his wife couldn't come into work. Well, let's just say even Pinocchio never reached these heights.
I care about what the evidence says. Okay, I care about what the video cameras say. I care about where, different phone locations say. I care that we found her body in the park that you go to with your family. You know that place. And just coincidentally, you're the person who calls her in sick to work. You're the person who knows the place where her body's recovered.
All her family and friends said she would call herself in the sick to work, not you, okay? And she would go to work sick. She never missed work for being sick in the past. She's been there 2 years. You told us you thought she was only there for maybe a year and a half before. She's been there 2 years. Never called in sick before, ever. Okay? She didn't have a headache. Her mom talked to her the day before on Monday. She complained of no health issues, all right? Wanda told the Polish detective from the sheriff's office that she had no physical problems. She talks to her almost every day on the phone, okay?
She tells
You know that. You know she talks to her mom a lot.
I don't know. She talks. I don't talk to her. So.
Well, well, I know you don't speak Polish, and neither do I, but I know exactly what Wanda said about all the calls that she had with her daughter, okay? And she knew the marriage was troubled. She knows you borrowed a lot of money from Magda, for gas, for this, for that, right? She knew you always wanted Magda to have her phone with her. Always. Didn't you? Now, you didn't say that. You always wanted her to have her phone with you so you could call. She complained that you called her all the time when she went to study. You didn't like her being away from you to go study. Okay? You didn't tell us that. You were hiding things from us.
I'm not hiding.
Okay? You were. Come on, we're past that. You were doing that.
No, sir.
Okay?
Enrique doesn't realize that the difference between now and his first interview is that the detective's job is no longer to just nod along to everything he says. Now, they are dealing with a murder suspect. And the next lie that the detectives pick apart reveals something that can't be vacuumed away. That tennis injury on his knuckle? It exposes one of the most disturbing details of this entire investigation.
Was it an accident in the townhouse?
No accident. We had a beautiful moment Monday. The sex. She drops sex sometimes. She sometimes she scratches me over. Something I can tell you. She likes to make love sometimes in public places. We have made love in the truck, in all the cars. And that's something I can tell you.
When you were having rough sex, did you choke her?
No.
Does she ever like to be choked when you're having rough sex?
No. She likes sex in public sometimes. But I would never do nothing to her.
Yeah, well, here's the deal, Enrique. Like I said, we start our investigation with those closest to her. That's you, okay? All of the evidence points only at you. Okay, this investigation is moving rapidly now that we've recovered her body, okay? All of those video cameras I was talking about along Sample Road, there's video cameras all over that road, both east and west of those woods, where you have been before with her recently, okay? When those video cameras are going to show your van going past there, they're going to show your van. There's only two ways in there, and both of them are covered by video cameras. They're going to show your van going in there, and there's nobody else who could have put her body there other than you, okay? The DNA is going to be in your van. The DNA from you is going to be under her fingernails. Your van's going to be on videotape.
No.
You put her body there.
No,
we need to know what happened, Enrique. Yes.
Enrique, you did not even come into the police lobby to report her missing until Tricia called you to say, did you go to the police yet? And you said no, and she said, you have to go report this to the police. Why did you wait so long?
I don't want...
It's because you were panicking, we understand.
To bring him to the station. I just take Matty to the school, and from there I went to see if she's there at work. That's my thought that I have. That once I leave Matty there, maybe she's going to be at work. That's my common thing that I thought.
Enrique, enough of that, okay? We're way past that. We're way past that. You know what happened to her. Okay? Only you and her know. You know what happened. There's only two possibilities.
I've never seen a suspect so determined to build the case against himself, because Enrique doesn't realize that with every lie he tells, he isn't confusing the detectives, he's feeding them ammunition. And the next piece of evidence they place in front of him, that's the moment he realizes this isn't an interview anymore. It's the beginning of the end. It's not a document, it's not a report, it's a picture, and the moment he sees it, Enrique can no longer sit in that chair.
What happened in the townhouse, Enrique? Tell us what happened that night in the townhouse.
Nothing happened. I have no...
Come on.
We were there.
It's time to tell us now.
So I mean, we were just going in circles. I think at this moment...
Listen.
At this moment, I think...
Listen to him.
At this moment, I think...
Listen to him for a second.
Okay, listen.
Listen to what he's saying.
It's very important, okay? It's very important. I want you to listen to me. Because this isn't something where I'm going to go in circles with you, okay? I have to show you something, okay? Because I know you still may be thinking that, like you said, oh, maybe they're playing games with me. This is what she looks like now. Enrique, this isn't going in circles. This is, we want the truth. Sit in the chair, Enrique. Sit in the chair. I know you're sorry for what you did, Enrique. I know you're sorry that this ever happened. I know this is tearing you up inside. I know it is. Enrique, you didn't mean for this to happen. You didn't mean for that to happen. You didn't mean for this to happen, Enrique. I know you didn't. I know you didn't. I could see it in your face, bro. You didn't mean for this.
You got me.
I know. I know, Enrique. I know. Enrique. This is reality, man. Okay? We need to know the truth, Enrique. We need to know the truth.
You knew it was going to come to this.
You
knew we were going to find her.
We need to know the truth, Enrique.
Come on.
We need to know the truth.
At this moment, Enrique has two choices. His first option is to fight the charges. Although every piece of evidence tells us that Enrique Macotela is a jealous, manipulative husband who planned this murder and left his wife in the woods. If he fights the charges, that's the man he has to defeat in court. His second option is to talk. Because if he confesses now, the story changes.
You didn't have any part in this, then you tell us what you think happened.
Rose, I know, okay? I know. Listen. You're gonna feel better, okay? Get this off your chest.
Get it off your chest.
Get it off your chest, man, okay? You didn't mean for this to happen, did you? You didn't want this to happen. I know you didn't, Enrique. I don't want everybody in the world to look at this and think you're a bad guy, bro. I feel you, bro. I feel your pain. I know you're hurting, man. I know you're hurting. Okay? Let it out, brother. Let it out, man. Okay? Enrique, look at me. Look at me. Look at me, man. Look at me. No, Enrique.
We don't want to do that.
Listen. I want to know the truth, man. I gotta know the truth. I gotta know how this really happened, man. I gotta know the truth.
You know and Magda knows.
Okay? Don't let this go on without being able to tell the truth, man. You know it, brother. You know it, man.
You'll feel better.
Come here. Look at me. Enrique, look at me, man. Look at me, okay? I feel you, bro. I feel your pain. I can see it in your face and I feel it in your heart, man. You've got a good soul. I know it. Okay? What happened, man? What happened? How'd this happen? You didn't want that. You didn't want this, man. I know you didn't. You're a good guy, man. Come on. What happened? We need to know the truth, okay? We're responsible for this investigation. I don't want you painted as the son of a bitch, okay? I know you're a good guy. I can see the pain in your face, bro. I can feel it. You gotta tell the truth, man. You gotta tell the truth. We need to know, man. We need to know. Get this guilt off of you. This is wearing you down for days. It's wearing you down for days, man. Tell me, Enrique. How'd this happen? What caused her to die, man? What caused her to die? What was it? What happened? Enrique, you're gonna feel relief. Get the truth out. Get it out. Get it out, brother. Listen. I can feel your pain, bro. I can see it in you. I know you're hurting right now, man. I know you're sorry for this. I know you didn't mean for it to happen. I know that. Look at me, Enrique. Nobody else is going to know that.
Enrique, are you sorry for what happened to Magda? Are you sorry? gotta be sorry. I mean, you didn't want this, right?
What would you say to her right now? She can hear
I
you.
just want you to go back.
You're sorry, right? You're sorry. I'm sure you said that to her. You told her you're sorry, didn't you? Didn't you?
You can tell her now. We're listening.
Get it off your chest, brother. Okay, what happened? What happened? What happened, Enrique? Look at me, bro. Look at me.
Are you sorry for Magda?
You're overcome by guilt. Tell her you're sorry.
I suppose
Listen, look at me, look at me.
Listen to
Look
him.
at me, look at me.
Listen.
Look at me, Enrique, okay? Look at me, okay? That picture is not ever going to go away from your head, okay? It's time to man up, okay? It's time...
It'll be with you the day you die.
This is going to be with you forever, okay?
right.
You either, listen, Enrique, you either own this and take responsibility and say, I'm sorry, I did not mean for this to happen. I didn't mean for this to happen, but it just happened. It just happened. That's, Enrique, tell the truth, bro, okay? Don't let the evidence speak for itself, okay? Look at me. I can see it in you, man. I can feel it in you, okay? I know you regret this more than anything that's ever happened. I know this was the worst day of your life. I know it's never been worse in your whole life than this last couple of days. I know that. I know that, Enrique, okay? You know it, and I know it. Look at me, man. Look at me, look at me.
Right.
Look at him.
Look at me, bro.
Looking at you, and I just told,
Look at me,
I
look at me.
need a lawyer, because I don't know the system. So, at this point, going over and over, you read my rights, and I want a lawyer, because, and I can afford one.
Enrique,
I think he has to speak for me.
you understand what's going to happen, okay? The evidence is going to speak for itself then, okay?
I don't know the system.
I'm telling you, the evidence is overwhelming. Overwhelming, brother. Overwhelming. I can't talk to you about it. You request a lawyer, I can't talk to you about it, okay? I'm gonna go consult with some people. And like I said, we're gonna be taking your cars, all your cars. We're securing your house as we speak, okay?
Gotta make a call.
No, you can't, okay? Not right this second, okay? We're securing your house as we speak. All these things are going to be tied up in the next few days. The evidence is going to be overwhelming, man. Change your mind, you tell me, okay?
Enrique chose to fight the case, and he was charged with second-degree murder. He was denied bond and remains in police custody. No sentence or verdict has been given yet. Our hearts go out to Magdalena Weich's family, all who knew her and all who loved her. Thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out one of the craziest cases I've ever covered right here.